First, thank you for letting me interview you and taking out the time to do it.
You're welcome, no problem.
And so I'm just going to give like a little spiel in the beginning that I've been giving for all of them. So the interviews have so far been about an hour long, and they are kind of a story and a conversation mixed together. I have an outline right here that I wrote out based on like survey answers and stuff like that, and it is both chronologically and categorically organized. So it's not overall the most flowing and topic wise. Um, are there any topics that you'd like to stay away from?
No, I don't care.
Okay, so in terms of your name, you said that I could use your name in the project. I'm going to have you introduce yourself at one point. Would you like to use your name or some variation of it? Some people don't like to use their full name, so they just say their first name or they just say a nickname. And I've been giving everyone the opportunity to choose a new name if they want one.
You can use my full name. I don't care.
Okay. And so then, in terms of your location, how specific do you want to be about that?
Just say Orlando, Florida.
Okay. And so after the interview is done, I'll ask you if there's anything that you want to say that you don't want to be shared. And like I can take that out, and I will be editing the interview afterwards, just probably taking out like myself asking questions and putting in screens
Okay.
with the questions written, things like that. Just reorganizing some things so that it just flows subject wise a little better. Um, things like that. Uh, if anybody sees the interview and has any questions and they contacted me, would you be okay if I gave them your email address?
Yeah, I don't care. That's fine.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So I guess we can start then. So would you please introduce yourself? And so that'd be like your name, your age, where in China you were adopted from, like what age, kind of just whatever you want to share about that.
Okay. I'm Stephanie Slater. I'm 20 years old. I was adopted from Wuzhou, China, when I was 10 months old with my twin sister, and came to the U.S. when I was about 3 or 2. I think I was 2. Never mind.
Okay. How would you describe your personality?
I'm shy. Like at first, like if I'm around new people and stuff like that, I don't talk a lot. Like in class, I don't really make friends unless I have to, because I just like I go and I learn, I leave. But with my friends, I'm pretty loud. Um, I speak my mind a lot. I think I'm pretty funny. Um, I'm very like loving and very caring. A lot of people say that I'm like too nice. Um, but I'm very honest. I'm very hardworking. I have a lot of goals for myself, and I think I'm pretty good at staying like motivated to achieve those goals.
So do you have any like fun facts about yourself?
Well, I have a twin sister, so that's cool. Um, I mean, I think that's basically it. Like, she goes to Florida State University, and I go to the University of Central Florida. So we're not together right now, but I do plan on going to grad school up in Tallahassee. And she's gonna stay there too. But we're pretty close, and us and our mom are pretty close.
Um, so what kind of hobbies do you do?
I played tennis when I was in high school. I don't really play anymore, but I would say that's a hobby. I really like to like window shop. I just like to go around places and like just see what there is. Um, like crime shows. I'm really into like Law and Order and everything. Or just like watching YouTube. I don't like do too much. I'm kind of just like chill, and I'll like go out sometimes to go like window shopping or whatever. But most of the time, I'm just like I'll stay in because I'm pretty busy with school. So when I get a chance, I just want to like stay home and not do anything.
So would you talk about the adoption process that your parents went through to adopt you and your sister?
Um, I know that they were originally looking at like Mexico, but because they used to live there, and there was a person that was like, "Oh, we have someone for you," but then I think they knew that like it wasn't like legit, so they were like, "No, like it's fine." And I think they just like like did research and found that like China had a big orphan like population, I guess, and they decided to do that, and like they did like their case studies and everything, and my dad they took out a second mortgage on the house and everything to be able to afford it, and my dad would also take overseas jobs, because they paid more, so they lived in Thailand, Korea, and Mexico, and when they adopted us, they were living in Thailand, so we went back to Thailand after they got us, and they just seemed like the social worker would come to their house, and they were living in Pennsylvania, I think, when they were living in the States, and she did like a a case study and everything on them, and like home visits and stuff like that. I don't really know like too much about it because like we don't really talk about like the process of it. We kind of just like talk about like after they got us kind of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
like they got a call. They said that they wanted siblings, but they were just the agency was like that's not very like likely because like it's probably just gonna be one baby, but they wanted two. Um, and they got twins, and they got a call saying that they had like two twin girls. So that's what happened, and then they got us. I don't feel like it took like a year and a half or something. I forget, but
Okay. Um, uh, would you talk about the people who are in your family or just your family structure?
um, well, it was until we were 11. It was just like us two and our mom and dad. But then my parents got divorced. Um, well, they separated when I was 11, and then they actually got divorced when I was 13. And when they separated, my dad wasn't really in the picture a lot. We didn't see him for like a really long time. From the time we were 12 to 18, like we didn't see him. So that like really changed the whole structure. Even though like he didn't do that much with us when he was living with us, but just having him there, and then we moved in with our uncle um, when we were like 13 because we finished seventh grade, and then we moved to like Palm Bay and moved in with him, and we've been there ever since. And so that's kind of different because my uncle's never had kids, and he's never been married, so he's like really like stuck like in in his ways, and he doesn't like to like listen to anyone else about what to do and stuff. And so those are like the main people. Like we have like a bunch of cousins and everything, but my uncle's been like the most constant one that we've had, and like we've been living with him for like 7 or 8 years now.
Okay, and so what's it like having a twin sister?
It's pretty cool. I mean, like I think it helped because I saw her, and she was like obviously like Asian and Chinese. So I think growing up, just having someone that looked like me around helped me with like just like self esteem. Because it wasn't like I was the only Asian person like ever. I got to see her. Um, so I think that helped, and it's just like especially when my parents separated. Um, it was really hard for us because just everything that had happened. Um, we like when I was in eighth grade, we didn't make a lot of friends because we had just moved down, and we were like really really close. And then all through high school, we did like the same things. We did band and tennis together. We had the same classes. We had like all of the same friends type of thing. So I think it really helped us, especially when our parents got divorced because, like I said, like we didn't really have anyone else at the time, especially because that happened when I was like 11, like 13, and things didn't really get better until I was like 18 or 19 or whatever. So I think if I was alone and I didn't have her there for me, like going through that, I think it would have been like a lot harder.
Um, so who in your family would you say you're the closest to?
My mom.
And why
And
is that?
it's but I think we're all like all three of us are pretty close. Like now it's kind of like this. It's different because like we're not home. And we're both in school and everything. Um, but we're definitely the closest.
Um, so where you grew up and so on, uh, well, let me restart. Sorry.
But,
So in the places that you've lived, have they been very diverse or not so much?
well, I lived in Middleburg, Florida, which is up by Jacksonville, from the time I was like 3 to 13, and that place was like it was mostly white people. Like it was mostly white. Um, but then when I moved down to Palm Bay, like it was really really diverse. Just not with Asians. Like I had moved down. To me, it's like my school was like pretty equal with black, Spanish, and white people. But there's not a lot of Asians because of the place I lived. A lot of them lived more beachside, and I didn't. Um, but it was really diverse when I came to Palm Bay with like every other race. But I was definitely like more aware, like being in Palm Bay because when I was up in like Jacksonville, like I didn't know a lot of people in Palm Bay are Haitian, and I didn't know what Haitian was. I was like, because no one talked to like
Mm-hmm.
the few black people that there were, they were just black. Like they didn't, and if they were Haitian or something, like they wouldn't talk about it. Um, but when I moved down here, like everyone was like Spanish or they're Haitian or something. So that was really different for me, just coming from like I said, like most of it was like white. I mean, like there were like it was kind of diverse, but not like it was like in Palm Bay.
And so how did that affect you?
Um, well, I think definitely me being in Palm Bay, it just made me more aware, because I was around like different people with different cultures. Like I said, I didn't know what Haitian was. Like I didn't even know I didn't know like what it was. And then most of the people that I knew, most of the people in my school who were black were Haitian, and they would like say like, oh, like I'm Haitian. I'm like, what's that? And I didn't even know just because no one talked about it up there. And I think it just made me more aware and everything. And I think it's like with a lot of my friends now, like in college, like most of them are white. That's just the way it is. Like um, a lot of people I do like hang out with are black people or like Asian or something like that. Um, I think it's just like it made me like step out of my shell type of thing. Because when I was up in Jacksonville, like I mean, like that's just what was around,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wasn't exposed to things, and I think just being around more diverse places has helped me. But definitely being in like where I lived in Jacksonville, like it was pretty like it was pretty redneck too. So a lot of people were like pretty racist. They were very Christian and everything. And I mean people were still racist when I moved to Palm Bay, but it wasn't the same type of racism. Um, so like I definitely had a problem with like being like picked on because I'm Asian in both places, and like it never happened in high school, but when I was an 8th grade, it was really bad. And then like all through like elementary school, I was like picked on for being Asian. Um, so I think this is like it shaped me in different ways. Like I can I know how to be around more like southern like you people because that's where I like grew up and stuff like that. But being down here, like being up on Bay, like it's a lot more urban too than it was. So I act like a lot, like I talk a lot more urban and like I just like I act like it more than I probably would if I didn't move to Palm Bay because where I lived up in Jacksonville was like a higher socio-economic neighborhood and everything, and most of the other people were white and stuff. So no one really like talked or acted up there like they did in Palm Bay.
And so you said that race did affect your family dynamics, and I was wondering if you could talk more about that.
Um, well, I mean, because our family is very very mixed. My mom's stepdad is black, and he has like a lot of kids. But so she has like a bunch of like black stepsisters and stuff like that, and then her sister has two kids, and they're both mixed with black. And one of them is married to someone who's black, and the other one had a baby with someone who is Colombian. And then my mom's brother too had a kid with someone who's black, and her kids are both mixed with like everything. So I mean, our family is really really diverse. So I think like it wasn't like and like I said, like being like having like Lindsay with me like helped me because I did get to see someone who wasn't just white, but I mean like most of my family wasn't white either. And most of the family that we talked to is not the white part of the family. Um, so I think it really helped me because the cousins we were the closest to are my aunt's two daughters, and they're both mixed. So just like I would look at my family, and I wasn't just like I'm the only one in the family who doesn't look like everyone else because no one looked like each other. Like we were all very mixed. So I think that did help me, and also with being more aware because like my cousins are black and everything, and like it's obvious that they are, and like they've talked to me about like their experiences and like when my mom has been out with them and how people would treat them differently than my mom because she's white and they're like black. So I think it's helped me in just being more aware and like being more comfortable with people who don't look like me because like no one in the family really did. Like we all look very different.
Um, what are your feelings towards China at the moment?
I love China. Like I have so much pride. Like, and I know that like there's a lot of. I mean, like China got some problems. Like I know that, but I don't even care. I've I honestly I have so much pride. Like every time I see like their flag or anything, or I see anything good happen, I'm like China. Like I honestly love it. Like I love where I come from. I'm very prideful of China and all that. Like like they do and all that they've done, and it's so old and the culture and history. So it's very positive. Like I love China. I love being from China.
Do you feel that Chinese culture is your culture?
Sometimes I do, but I'm very very American, and like not. I don't live my Chinese culture every day of my life. Like it's not like a very. I don't do it a lot, so I consider it more American, my culture, but I identify as Chinese. Like I don't identify as American because just the way that like things are right now and the way that I've been treated in my life, they see me as Chinese. They don't see me as just American. Like I'm seen as like someone who's foreign. So when they ask me what I am, I say Chinese because I don't get treated like I'm a regular American, like a white American. Um, so even though culturally I'm like American, like I identify as being Chinese.
How do you feel about the country's current policies, such as the repealing of the one-child policy?
I don't know. It's really complicated because it's just like when it happened, I didn't really have much of like a feeling for it. So I was just like, okay. I mean, like it didn't really affect me, and I mean, I don't necessarily have like a bad feeling towards their one child policy just because like they had a lot of people and they did what they thought was the best and they didn't think about like long term effects. Um, but like it did what they wanted it to. Like they had like a lot less people, and now I'm just like trying to still has a lot of people. So I'm just wondering how it's gonna like make their population go up. I didn't really care that much, so I was like that's cool. Like okay, it didn't really affect me either way, just because I was like I'm like 18, like I'm like 18 now, like I've been gone, so it didn't really affect me.
Um, so do you have an interest in going back to China?
Yeah, I do. We were supposed to when I was 13, but my parents got divorced. But we really want to go back. We really want to go back and try and find our work parents and everything. It's just like a lot of money and time and stuff. And like we're both in college, we're both in school, and we're gonna go to grad school. So it's just like a matter of time, I guess, when we find the time and money. But I do really want to go.
Would you be interested in also finding like more birth siblings?
Yeah, we've tried. We did the 23andMe, and we've only found like fifth cousins. I think we found like one third cousin, but I don't think they ever like sent anything back to us. But we are like very interested in it, and we've been trying, but it's just like it's really hard. Like I said, like we have a lot of like fifth cousins. That's just like way like far removed, so it doesn't really get us any closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done 23andMe as well, and I have like, oh yeah, fifth cousins that you share like
Yeah,
0.12% of DNA with.
yeah. There's like one third cousin that came up, but I think like Lindsay messaged them and they never said anything back.
So in terms of education, would you talk about like your educational experience?
um, in terms of like me being Asian, or just talk about school.
Well, just in general, I was gonna ask about being Asian later.
I mean it was pretty good. Like in elementary school, I had a pretty nice childhood. Um, even though I was bullied, like I had a lot of friends and I did a lot of things and it was really fun. Then seventh grade was good. Like I don't remember too much of it, like school wise, just because like stuff going on at home was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was good. Like, it was fun. Like I made friends. Eighth grade, I hated eighth grade. Like when I moved to Palm Bay, I hated it so much. I got picked on like every day for the first month for being Asian, and I just like everyone was just it was so different than where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought the kids were really really rude. Like I just wasn't used to it.
Mm-hmm.
High school, I had a really good high school experience. Like I was very involved. We were in the band. We did tennis and everything. We played on varsity all 4 years. And we had a lot of friends. We were very well known because we were the Asian twins, and like we were in the band and everything. And when my high school, the band was really cool, so everyone knew us as like the Asian twins in band.
Mm-hmm.
So high school was really fun. Actually, like a lot of people hate it, but I love high school. Like I had pretty good experiences and pretty good memories. Now I'm in college. I mean it's good. Like I don't know if it's what I would have expected. I think when I was younger, I expected myself to go out more and like party and stuff, but like I don't. So I don't do anything like that. But it's good. I'm feeling involved in college too. I'm trying to like stop a little bit because I'm like I'm tired. Like I'm busy. I don't want to like be out all the time doing stuff. I want to come home and like chill and have time for myself. But I mean, school's been pretty positive for me. Like we're very like school oriented people. So I mean, I plan on going to grad school after this. So I think it's been pretty good for me. I don't have any like super bad like experiences that's like scarred me for the rest of my life.
And what made you choose the University of Central Florida?
I had a boyfriend, and we didn't work out. But I was supposed to go to a University of North Florida because like that, like I'm originally from up there. I have a bunch of family and friends up there. I was supposed to go, and I like messed up on my FAFSA, and I got like half the money that I needed to go, so I didn't go. And then I had a boyfriend at the end of my senior year, and he was coming here, and I was like, okay, let me go to the community college because I just wanted to move out. Like I just wanted to like because I don't like Palm Bay that much, so I just wanted to like move away. And then that didn't work out because Florida had a problem with like transcripts being sent to colleges, so they never got my transcripts. So they never got my I was never approved for like financial aid, so they dropped me from all the classes. So I stayed home my first semester, and we had already broken up, but then we were like dating again, and I came here for him basically, and then we just didn't work out. But when I was in high school, I never wanted to ever go here because I was like, it's too close to home. Like, I don't want to go. Like, somewhere so close. Then I had a boyfriend, and then I'm one of the girls that came to college for a boyfriend, and I'm here.
And so, what have you been studying in college?
Criminal justice.
Okay, and so in the survey, you said that you were interested in like English and history, and then suddenly, like it said college interest, and you were criminal justice. And I was wondering what caused the change.
Well, I mean, we didn't have like when I was in school, the in high school, like the subjects are very like set. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have that option. Like it was English and history, and I really like history, and I was really good at English. I was really good like at writing and stuff like that. So that's basically why. But then, um, it felt only just because we never learned about like anything like that like in high school. We never talked about like CJ anything. We just did like the preset stuff, and I was originally gonna go for social work, but then I decided to change to criminal justice when I came in the spring. I came like spring 15, and I just I wanted to change because like I didn't want social work to like make me be narrow in what I was gonna do after I graduated. So I decided to switch so I could have like more options. But I'm actually gonna go get my master's in social work after this. That's what I plan to do.
Okay. And what interests you about social work and criminal justice?
I just want to help people. Our system in America, I don't think is very good. I think that it's like kind of been like preset to just keep on harming people. Like in my opinion, like black people, poor people, and it isn't really helping them. And I've seen that like throughout my family and everything, and just like especially things going on right now. Like, I want to be able to change that, and I really want to work with kids, um, in juvie. And like in my opinion, I think a lot of the reason kids do crime is because like, they have a really bad life. Like there's not when you live in like a place that's like impoverished and school isn't a big deal and gangs are all around. Like what else are you gonna kind of do? And like not saying that like it's okay for them to commit crime, but it's just like I know that I was very privileged as a kid, and so I know people don't have those same privileges as me. Like I went on this jail tour, and this 14-year-old kid was in there for murdering his stepdad, and in my mind that's just like to me like, I automatically thought like he was probably being like abused because I don't unless you're like just like pure crazy like a 14-year-old isn't gonna murder someone like for no reason. And I think a lot of it comes down to just like the cycle of abuse and everything and poverty. And I want to help kids like get out of that cycle and help them get skills to like actually do something. Like to get a job and go to school or something, or help them see what they can be. Because I think a lot of times too, like when you're in a really bad school area or you live in a place that's a super super poor and you get told all the time that you're gonna like not make it to be 18, you're stupid, you're not gonna go anywhere. That really like gets to you, and I want to help kids see that they are more than that. And like I mean, I think getting out of poverty is really hard. Like just like the whole thing is really hard, and it's not just about getting a job. But I just want to help kids do that. And I really wanted to work ever since I went on my first jail tour for one of my classes. I was really interested in working with inmates, just because, like I said, like I think a lot of times it's just like they just had a really bad childhood. They didn't have privileges. They didn't have parents who could be there for them because the parents had to work all the time. And that's not everyone, obviously, but in my opinion, I just think that that's why a lot of people are in the positions that they're in, just because like you can't control everything that happens to you. You don't control like where you're born into. But I want to help people like get the skills to like do better for themselves. And I'm really interested in just like the whole like I'm very interested in like prisons and jails and the programs to help inmates do that. And then police are very controversial right now in America, and that's very is very interesting to me. So I just think things are interesting. Like there's a lot of that I want to do, but I can't do everything. When I get out and work. So.
Mm-hmm. And so I asked you if you had and if race affected your educational experience as well as your social experience, and you said both to both questions. And I was wondering if you could elaborate.
I think especially for CJ, like being an Asian woman is not very common. Like there's not a lot of times I see Asian girls in my classes. So I think it affects the way people like see me, and especially because I want to work with inmates and stuff. I think that they're just gonna. I think that they just like. I think it's just gonna affect the way that they see me and like how I do my job, because like I'm short, like I'm like 5'2", and like I think they're just gonna like stereotype me because they stereotype Asian women to be very like quiet and submissive and everything, and I'm not that at all. So I think I'm always very like aware of how people like talk to me and like view me when I'm in my classes or whatever. And social, I came to college and I was super super excited to like be a part of the Asian organizations here. Like I wanted to register the Asian sorority we have here, which is Delta Phi Lambda. And I looked into it like a lot of times, but like I didn't feel like I clicked with them, and I just didn't feel Asian enough because like we're raised very differently. I was raised very differently than how they were raised and stuff, and I just didn't click with them. So I looked into a different organization, and I got a bid and everything, and I was pledging and stuff, and then I was the event coordinator last semester for the Chinese American Student Association, and I thought being like on the board would help me feel more like help me feel more in with the crowd, because ever since I got here, I never really felt like I belonged like with the Asian community. But I thought being in CASA would help me do that, and I was on the board and everything, and it actually made it like 10 times worse, where it just like magnified how much I didn't fit in. Like there was like 11 people on the board. There was only 3 guys. I didn't like 2 of them. Like we have nothing in common. Like I don't like the same things they like at all. Like when it comes to majors, everyone in the Asian organizations are like free health, like engineering, or something like that. I'm not like that. Like I don't take those classes. So when they're talking about classes and they're like, oh, who do you take for bio? I'm like, I don't take bio. So it's just hard, and like like I said, I thought being in CASA would help me like a lot, and it just made it 10 times worse. I ended up quitting because I just hated being there. Like everything that I did, every like officer meeting we had, every event that we did, I was like, I just don't want to be here. And it made me feel like really alone, because there was like 11 people like on the board, and that's like a lot of people, and I just didn't feel like I really fit in with any of them. Like I feel like they didn't like try to like really be friends with me that much, and a lot of them have like a good amount of money, and they'll go out like every day and eat. I'm like, I don't got that kind of money, like, so that would hinder me too. And I notice a lot of people, Asian people here, they have a lot of money or a good amount, like more than I have. So they go out like almost every day to go get boba tea or something, and boba tea is like $4 or $5. So that adds up like every single day, and they go out to eat all the time, and I'm just like, I can't afford that. And like I said, we just don't have the same interest at all. Like a lot of them like anime and K-pop and Pokemon. I don't like any of that. Like a lot of them, they just live their lives differently, because a lot of their parents immigrate from Asia, so they're very they like live their life to please their parents, which is fine, but I don't live that way. So when I make my choices, and like no one pays for me to be in school, like, I do it all myself. So like loans and scholarships and everything. So like I'm not bound to do anything by my family because they don't help me. I mean, like, not that I don't care about what they like about their advice, but ultimately I want to do what I want to do, and because I pay for myself anyways. And it's like a lot of them don't live like that, and I do. So we just live differently. Like we legitimately have nothing in common. So now, like I quit Casa like last October, like late October, and I haven't gone back to any event. I haven't like gone to any Asian organization, anything since I quit. And I honestly, I have no like desire to be friends with anyone in the Asian organizations. I don't want to go to anything. I don't want to like go out to the big events. I don't care. Like it's very very cliquey here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't fit in. And I was pledging a sorority. It was Spanish based, but it's multicultural membership, and I was doing that. What I mean, like I quit, but I really did like it, and like I just don't have any desire to go to any of the Asian stuff. And like my sister, she's the education chair for the Asian American Student Union at Florida State. And, like she just went to like their East Coast Asian Student Union conference in North Carolina, and she really wanted me to go, and I'm just like I don't like not that I don't love being Asian and being Chinese because I do, but like I don't want to have anything to do with it right now. Like I don't want to try and be part of the organization because I don't fit like at all. So that's really been really hard because when I was a senior in high school going to college. I was so excited to go be a part of all the Asian stuff, and it didn't work out at all the way I thought it was gonna.
Yeah, I can understand that. So in terms of careers, so your goal was the same as your goal was to work in prison and jail with inmate programs. So would you just talk about your career goals?
Um, I'm taking a juvenile justice class right now, and like I really wanted to work with kids too. And I was just trying to find a way to like do so mix like kids with inmates. And there's this place called Glen Mills School in Philadelphia, and it's like one of the best like programs like in the country, and like they really actually like help kids like they like get schooling. They let them do sports and everything. They have them take all these classes, to help give them skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really want to like just try to like be like a mentor and help guide these kids, and hopefully like try to give them like like life skills, and how to like go through life type of thing, because a lot of those kids weren't taught.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just really want to like help kids, and I want hopefully like like they're already there obviously, but I want to help them like just not come back or do anything like that again. Just, try to get a job or go to school or something, just so they can have like a better life. I'm very interested in like I'm very interested in that, because in my opinion, prison, that doesn't help anything. Like if you don't have to teach them anything when they get out, they have no skills, and they're gonna leave with like more like they're gonna come out having learned more criminal like acts and behaviors, because they've been around criminals for the past however long. So if you don't have to teach them how to like do anything, they're just gonna come back. And prison costs a lot of money for like taxpayers, and so it just it doesn't make any sense to just like not help people and just to have them keep coming back, because taxpayers are going to complain about all the taxes we pay, and these people are just gonna keep on being in jail or prison, and they're gonna die. And like they could go and get jobs and do something better, and help out like the world community, but they can't if they weren't taught anything. So I just really want to help people like get the skills, so when they do get out, like they have something for themselves. Because if not, you're just gonna go back.
Mm-hmm. And so, do you think that the wanting to like help people and working with children, things like that, that adoption influences you on your career choice?
Um, Personally, I don't think it did. I think most of it came from like when my parents separated. We were living in a shelter for a little bit, and like we had to go to therapy for that and everything. And I think just seeing that and just seeing how like bad like our system is, and then especially with stuff like that happened. And that's been happening since like 2012. That's been like really big with the killing of unarmed black men has been a very big thing in my life, just because, like I said, like my cousins are black. I have a lot. I have a little cousin, like he's like, well, I have a cousin, he's like 16, 17. I have other little cousins, they're like 11 and 10. I forget, but like they're young, and like you grow up now. It's like, what do you teach them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you gonna like tell them to do? Like when a cop comes, like, because in my opinion, you do everything right and still get shot and killed. So I think just like seeing all that's been going on, and I'm like a fixer. Like I like to fix things, and obviously I can't fix the whole system because it's been this way for a very long time. It's been this way since everything started. But I want to help fix all the problems, and black people, like black men, like they make up like 12% of the population in America, and they make up 50% of the population in jail. Like that's like more than double, and it makes you think like there's something wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm very liberal, so I just look at that and I was like, that's just not fair. Like I have friends who are black males. My last boyfriend was black. My sister's boyfriend is black. My cousins who are black, and it's just like, is that going to be them because they were treated unfairly? And I think it's just like just seeing what's happened in the world, especially since like 2012 or everything, like 2012 to 2013. Just seeing that, I was just like, there's a big problem, and that's something I'm very, very like interested in. So I just thought that this would be like good for me, and I should love it. Like I love my major. I love what I learn and everything. I think it's very interesting.
And so when I asked you so I asked you your goal occupation, and then I asked you like what your dream occupation would be, and you said a stay-at-home mom and wife, and I wanted you to talk more about that.
I mean, I think people sometimes think like they act like why I'm in school and why do I want to go to grad school? If I just want to be a mother and a wife, but like my mom stayed at 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 home with us, and I see a difference between me and the way that my friends were raised, who didn't have them all there. And like to me, having children is that's a very big goal in my life. Like I really want to have children. I really want to be married, and I want to have a family, and I want to be able to spend as much time with them as I can. And just help them grow. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that mother who like misses stuff because she has to work or something. Like she can't come to a soccer game, or she can't like go to like a band concert, or she can't go to anything because I'm always like working or busy. So if I had to like choose between a career and being a mother, I would choose kids. So I just don't want to like have kids and like not be able to like come to things.
Mm-hmm. Wait, sorry, my cat just was like trying to open the door, and like her paw was coming out and just kind of like tapping and tapping and tapping, and I was like, "Are you?" And I just wasn't sure if she was gonna open it or not, and then she pushed it open, so I got a little distracted, but I was listening. Sorry.
It's okay.
Um. Okay. So, would you say that you like being a Chinese adoptee?
I mean, I think to say like do I like it? It's like our question because like that's just the way I am. Like I don't know anything else. Like I would say that I like being Chinese, but just being adopted is just like that's just like who I am, And I've always known. We've always talked about it, and I guess like I'm sure I would be a different person if I wasn't, but I don't feel a certain type of way about it just because I like being adopted isn't like on the forefront of my mind every single day. Like when I talk to my mom, I'm not just like my like my mom that's white and isn't my real. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that way. So, because I think I wouldn't say that I like it just because just like I don't know, like it just is what it is. But I like being Chinese. But being adopted is just like, I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, I mean, like, people get families different ways. And that's just like how it is. And like I said, like, unless people ask me about it, it's not on the forefront of my mind. I don't go through life and, like, walk around and be like, I'm adopted, and, subconsciously let people know that I'm adopted,
So you were talking about how your parents would tell you like when you were younger stories about like how your birth parents and like nannies loved you. You said, and I was wondering if you could talk about that.
I mean, they would just tell us, like, they'd be like, like, your your birth family loved you. They left you somewhere so you could find somewhere better to live and everything. And they just always would say that, like, they loved us and that we were very loved, and that our nannies loved us and everything. And it was very positive. I think I've heard some people, like, say that, like, oh, we don't tell our child that their birth parents loved them because we don't know. It's just like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, because my mom was like, why would I want my kid to have any less love? Like, I think it really affects you when you've been told that, like, your birth parents didn't want you. Like, that affects you very, very negatively, and it's just like they don't know what happened. Like, they don't know why they like gave us away. So it's just like, there's a 50-50. There is a 50-50 chance that they did love us, and I'm assuming that they did because, like, they didn't kill me. Like, they didn't, like, leave me, like in the woods, and I was like halfway starving and dead. Like, when I was found, and they just always have, like, said, like, like, you've always been loved. Like, everyone loves you. Like, like, you don't have to worry about no one, not loving you and, like, not wanting you.
Hmm.
So they just would always talk about that.
And have you been involved in like adoptee communities at all?
Um, I'm a part of, like, the pages and stuff like that, but sometimes I don't get, like, my mom and sister were, like, really involved, but I was just like, some people are just like stupid. Like, to be honest, they're just stupid on there, and I just don't have the time to, like, because people reply, like, there's, like, thousands of replies, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time in my day to read it all and to, like, reply to everyone, and then some people start saying, like, stupid things to me, and I'm just like, I just don't have time for it. So, like, sometimes I just feel like, I feel bad sometimes because when you listen to, like, some of the things that, like, kids say, is like, and it's because their parents have just, like, handled the whole, like, adoption thing and raised them really badly. And I'm just like, girl, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Like, about yourself and about your, your, your culture and your family, because I think obviously that comes down to what the parents have told them. You know, Sometimes I just think that, like, no one, like, really cares what I have to say, because, like, some parents just come in there and just be like, no, like, that's not how it is. It's just like, you don't know, like, you're not trying to adoptee. So I kind of just, like, a lot of it's just like, I don't know. I think it's like with the same thing with, like, with the Asian orgs here. It's just like, I just don't want to put in the effort. Like, I just don't feel a need to. Like, I just don't feel like I even belong, because a lot of them have grown up differently than I've grown up. A lot of them, still have, like both parents. They have money, and they're pretty privileged, which isn't a bad thing. But, like, that's not the way I've grown up anymore. Like, until I was 11, like, I was very, like, privileged, and I had both parents around. But after, I didn't, and my life is very different than most, like, adoptees. So sometimes I can't relate to you because like, I don't have that, and like I said, like, I pay for everything for college. Like, I'm in debt. Like, I'm like 24,000 already, and I'm not done yet. And it's just like, sometimes I just find it hard to, like, relate, because I just feel like we're so different.
Okay. And so, if you had advice in general for adoptees, or just things that you'd say to either adoptees or parents in general, as advice, what would you say?
Just, like, love where you come from, because, like, like, we're Chinese. Like, it's obvious that we're Asian people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one's gonna go down the street and be like, she might be Asian, like she might, like, that's very obvious that we're Asian, and it's just like you can't hide it, like you cannot change it, like you can't change your nose, you can't change your face, you can't change your, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can, but you're still gonna look Asian, like no matter what you do, you're gonna look Asian because that's what you are, and I think people just need to like love where they come from. Like, there's nothing wrong with being prideful of where you come from. Like I said, I'm like, when it comes to China, like anything, like Yao Ming, I was like, I just get so prideful. Like I love Yao Ming. Like I think he's just the greatest thing ever. And you said, I think it's just like you have to love where you come from because, like, to me at least, being Chinese is who I am. You know, because of course, like I personally don't go through life and be like every choice that I make is based on me being Chinese. But like, you know, you get treated in certain ways because you're Asian. So it is on the forefront of your mind. Like I think anyone, especially right now, anyone of color, your color is on the forefront of your mind every single day. Like like if someone looks at you funny or if someone like says something to you or whatever, like you're like, is it because I'm Asian or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like I know with guys, like I have a problem where it's just like when guys want to talk to me or whatever, like it's like, do they really like me or do they like me because I'm Asian and anything that I'm like any type like some certain way? And like I'm not super skinny. Like I have like a butt and thighs, and I know guys like that, and I know they have like a certain like um, idea of me of what they think I'm like, and like I'm the least stereotypical Asian girl ever. Like I'm not submissive. I'm not like quiet. Like don't tell me what to do. Don't like don't think that I'm not gonna speak up type of thing. So for me that's hard, and it's just like I think being Chinese is like that's all not all that I am, but like that's like most of what I am, and you know I think that like the way you become a certain way because of the way that you've been treated in life, and a lot of the way I think that I've been treated in life comes back to me being Chinese and being Asian. So I mean, like you can't hide it, like you can't change it. Like there's this one girl on the page, I don't know who she is, but she legit says that she's white, and it's like, girl, no, you're not. Like your family's white, yeah, I get it. Like you might feel white on the inside, but you're not white. Like you can feel whatever type of way you want on the inside, but on the outside, that's not what anyone sees. Like you are Asian. Like you know what I'm saying? It's just like I think you have to like really love that and accept it because you know if you don't love yourself and you don't love where you come from, I think you just have a really hard life. You're gonna go through life just like hating everything and hating yourself, and it's like that's not a way to like live. Like you should be so proud of where you're from. You know, like I said, like I see like the Great Wall, or I just see the Chinese flag, or I see like Yao Ming, and I'm just like China. Like I mean, I'm so proud of it. I think that's how we should be. Like that's like my people, you know. And I just think that you should be proud of it, and you should embrace it. And you shouldn't try to hide it, because and like I said, like there's been multiple people that say like, oh, like when we bring them home, they're they're like just Americans. Like no, they're not. Because even if I'm American, I'm American. Like I'm so American. Okay, but it's like I don't get treated like one. You know, I get treated like I'm foreigner because that's what they think. But that's what they think. Uh, that's not what America thinks of Asians, foreign. Like they don't see me as American. So it doesn't matter if you're a certain way. Like I said, it's like that's not how anyone else sees you. And you have to learn how to like handle that kind of stuff. And if you don't, you're just like you're not really doing anything for yourself or your child. I think you just have to love like where you're from and love your culture. And I think that's the biggest part of it. Because a lot of it is like self hate. Like a lot of the stuff I see, I don't honestly read a lot anymore, but it's the stuff that I see and the stuff that like my mom will tell me about is like they just like hate themselves. They hate themselves because like, you know, China's like so bad or whatever, or you know, like people's parents have told them that like, oh, China's this, and you know, your birth parents didn't want you. It's just like, why did I say that? Like, it's just like loving yourself. I think, and you definitely have to love where you're from because I think that makes you who you are. Like I said, like we turn out a certain way because of things that have happened to us, and especially when you're someone of color. A lot of the way that you get treated is because of your race, and we can change that, and especially right now. Like
So what do you think has been or have been the most impactful causes or shaping events that have helped you to create your own identity as an Asian woman?
I think a lot of it's been like right now, like being in college and like going through all the stuff with like CASA and everything, and like being part of the Asian community because, like I said, like I was really depressed about it. I was like, how am I like Asian and Chinese, but I don't fit in with any of these people. Like this is where I'm supposed to fit in. Like this is what I like. Like like they look like me, but I don't fit in with them. And I actually fit in with more black people. That's just the way that I was raised and like the way that I am. But it's hard because like a lot of black people don't like Asian people. Not that they don't like me because I'm Asian, but I think sometimes people think I'm trying to be black. It's like that's not what I'm trying to do. Like this is just the way I am, you know. And I think most of it's just like college, you know. Like when I was in high school, I never had this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to my mom about it like a couple months ago, and I was just like, you know, I'm 20 years old and like I'm figuring out like who I am more than I ever did when I was like 14. Because I didn't really feel like I had a problem when I was in high school. I didn't feel like I had problems like knowing who I was. I was like, I'm cool, like you know, like I'm in band and I dated some guy for like 2 years, whatever, back in high school, and I was just like, that's good, like I don't have a problem with it. And then within this past 2 years, I had a really big problem with just like feeling like I like belong, and like I was trying to find somewhere where I belong, which is why I was pledging. Because I was just like, I just want to find somewhere because I had just quit CASA. And I was just like, I don't have any friends anymore. And then me and my boyfriend broke up. And I was like, dang, like I definitely don't got friends now. Like I don't really have anything to like do. Like, you know, he would come over because he was from back home. So he would come visit me and stuff like that. And he wasn't coming over anymore, obviously. And I'm just like, I'm lonely, dang, like I need to go do something. And then I would try to like, I'm very interested in like frats and sororities and everything. So I was looking at different organizations to join and stuff like that, and I ended up picking the one that I pledged for and everything. And because I just want to find somewhere where I belong, and it's just like I know that I'm Asian and I'm very proud of being Chinese, but at the same time, it's just like I don't want to do anything like with it, you know. Obviously for Chinese New Year, like I went out with some friends and everything, but they weren't Asian. Like they were like black and like Spanish. And I think it's like now it's just like because you know I didn't expect to come to college and join the Asian orgs and not feel like I fit in. Like I didn't expect that, especially to the degree that it made me feel like so like unwelcome. And like I think a lot too. Like I said, like I'm a lot more urban than a lot of the other Asian people, especially like all of the Asian girls. Like because you know like the stereotype of Asian girls are very like babyish and cutesy. I'm not like that at all. Like I'm not like that. So when I talk and everything, I think people think like I'm ghetto, and it's just like I'm just from Bay. Like like it's just more urban over there. I think some people in the organizations thought that I thought I was black. And then my last boyfriend was black. And people have like this idea of Asian girls that date black guys. Like I think people think that like we're ghetto and we're like kind of like sluts. And I don't know why they think that. I just think that just the way that like people have like talked to me when I said because they would ask me like if Ivan was Asian, and I'm like no, he's black. And no, the Asian community as a whole, they don't view black people very good. Like a lot of them don't want the kids dating black people a lot. And I just think that like just being around like what people would say to me about that kind of stuff, or just like how people view me as Asian, I think that's shaped me more than anything else. And like, I'm 20, you know, like I said, like I was really upset about it one day because I was like, Mom, like I'm 20 years old, like why am I still trying to find myself? Like I'm 20, like should have like not that I should know by now, because I know 20's young, but I was like, why am I going through this now when I didn't go through this like in high school? I think a lot of us is like right now, like me going through life in college right now, and like it's still happening. Because there's a lot of stuff going on like with me personally that that I'm trying to work through, and I do wish that I could be more closer to like like Chinese culture and Asian stuff, but like, I don't want to do it here. Like I just don't feel like dealing with anyone in the Asian ones because, like I said, they are like they're very cliquey here, and they're kind of like annoying. Like, I don't really, I just don't, I don't have the energy to like try. And like when I go there, like no one even talks to me. Like people be like, oh hey, Stephanie, like how are you? And they don't even talk to me. So I'm just like I'd rather like legit like be alone, like in my room, than be alone at a place where I'm supposed to have friends. I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like college because like I said, I didn't think that it would be like this. Because when I was in high school, like, I think me and my sister were the only Chinese people in the school. There was one guy. He was a freshman. He was a freshman when I was a junior, but I didn't know about him until like a couple months ago. Like he was Chinese, but like there was no one who was Chinese. I mean, there are very little Asians, anyways. So I didn't have to find myself in that manner because like there wasn't anyone Chinese around. Like there was like 20 Asians, like in the school. I didn't have to like feel like I fit in because as Asians we kind of like there's only 20 of us, so there wasn't a lot. So we kind of just like be friends anyways, just because we're Asian. Like so.
So do you have any final comments on any of the subjects that we've covered so far?
Not really. I think I said everything that like I feel.
So those are all the questions that I have for you. So it's just like, if you want to say anything else, you can, if you would like to.
I can't really think of anything right now.
Okay, so then I'm gonna stop recording now.
Okay.